everybody. Welcome to the NSFW Cleveland podcast. My name is Chris Paul.
I am John Armstrong.
It's a crazy week. It's a wild week.
First week of the year. Yeah.
Doomsday trailer came out. Have you seen any of these Avengers trailers?
I saw the last one I saw was the one with Thor. He was like in the woods.
Oh, okay.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Was that the last one or is it another one?
No, there's two more.
Two more. I saw the one. Well, the one with fucking Captain America. Like they just keep showing these still shots of them brooding. I'm like, fucking show something.
No. Well, they released they were like leaked, and then there's actual.
Well, that was the other thing
like
too.
1 minute ones.
Is the Cyclops one real or is that okay? Because somebody pointed out it's a Sentinel in the background. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
From the 90s X-Men.
The fourth one, it's not like out, but it's leaked. There's it'll leak, and then all the the YouTube channels will cover and describe what happens in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like some stills from it out already, and it's the Wakandans and Fantastic Four.
Oh, I saw a thumbnail of that. I didn't know. You know how it's so much fucking slop that I didn't know if that was real or not.
Yeah, that's apparently what it is. There's a clip of Ben Grimm meeting Waktu? What's his name? The big fucking guy that's like the second.
Yeah. M'Baku.
Yeah. He meets Ben Grimm, and then there's like a clip of Namor. Namor's in there again.
I saw this thumbnail and I thought, okay, I gotta watch these. So I feel like, are you excited? Are you excited about this?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah.
I feel like this is like the breakup when like you're finally done with her and then she starts doing all that nasty sex stuff you wanted. It's like Marvel, like we wanted all this shit the whole time, and now they're like, we'll write a movie.
Yeah, now we'll make their real costume.
Yeah, once everybody starts bailing out, X-Men is incorporated. We're doing real costumes.
Well, I think there was always a plan to use the Fox X-Men in the multiverse thing. That's why they did the whole multiverse angle this time around.
Well, and then
they just
Fantastic Four helped
because they had bought Fox and everything else. They had access to all those characters. But my little fan theory on this Wakandans meeting the Fantastic Four go to Wakanda first when they get to the 616. I think that's because they have a Wakanda on their Earth, and I think they're gonna show up with a Black Panther recast. From their Earth, and he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm T'Challa, but on their Earth." And then when they reboot after Secret Wars, like they're gonna have a new Black Panther. Is
it true that dude was it Damson Idris or
that's the rumor? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna be on that ship.
Good-looking guy, like he can,
Yeah, I think he'll be on the ship with the Fantastic Four from the other. Then when they merge it all, he'll be the Black Panther after these big movies.
Okay, really quick. So since I can't, my old man brain cannot determine what is slop and what's not. Is it true that Jordan Peele is supposed to be directing Blade?
I think there was he was in talks to at one point. It's been like
because I saw somebody talking about that, like it's supposed to be going down.
I don't think it's like announced or anything, because the last thing I saw was that Blade movie is officially like not happening. Yeah, at least with Mahershala Ali.
Well, yeah, they fumbled that, man.
They'll probably eventually do something, but
like what they're doing with the with the Avengers. Like, all right, here's just the perfect cast. Who would be the perfect Blade?
Mahershala Ali. I think they had the right guy, but
well, they use Black Panther. They only like using one black person at a time in Hollywood, anyway. So
yeah, they're gonna bring. That's how you know they're bringing Black Panther back, is because They dropped.
We kind of
bologna
did
plate.
some audience testing, and we found that this is the one black person that we can.
We're
digest.
woke, but only one at a time.
It's like a lucid dream.
Yeah.
we're awake in our asleepness.
We're gonna have a gay character, but he's gonna be one of the Eternals. The what?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I hope this is good. I hope they don't try to cram too much in. Ain't this like a two-parter?
Yeah, but it's also gonna be like almost a 4-hour movie. It's gonna be like an epic, I think. And if you look
Bring
at
your
like
astronaut diapers.
some of those epics that are over 3 hours, they have plenty of characters and lots of shit going on in them, and they're all engaging. I mean, these are the guys that pulled it off last time, so.
After this, though, they gonna have to let this shit die, man.
I think their plan is what the Kevin Feige's saying is they're gonna do like a soft reboot and just have all these characters merged into one world, and then they'll just do whatever shows and movies.
Yeah,
It probably won't be like a cohesive universe anymore. I wouldn't think. Or I mean, maybe
like the way
that.
DC do that with certain Batmans is just kind of in its own thing.
Yeah,
that could be fun too. You can have more creative control as a director, and you can go in like weird directions. Because that's the other thing. You can only do these certain tropes for so long. So start teasing some of the.
Especially because everybody's worried about Netflix shutting down movie theaters now that they own Warner Brothers. Which I seriously doubt is going to happen.
This is so gross. Where are the antitrust laws, man? This shit shouldn't be legal. It's not legal.
I just as long as they don't fire James Gunn and fucking ruin that whole thing.
Everything that's wrong with, well, not everything, but a large amount of what's wrong with movies now is the Netflix model. And they have came out and said they were making shitty movies. They're making movies for you to watch on your phone. They're making movies that they don't give a fuck. They're just...
Yeah. I think they'll set up in different, like, they'll still compartmentalize.
They'll have their A24 over here.
Yeah, they'll still have the shit. I mean,
look at us being indie.
Ultimately, like, if like good entertainment, like it's capitalism, it is gonna. You're gonna
those mid-tier movies, they gotta find a way to bring them back. And my only argument for Netflix would be to where, since they say a lot of these movies aren't profitable and you can't make back-end money off DVD sales anymore. If Netflix wants to lean into movies that are mostly at home, then do those mid-tier movies good, the way those John Hughes movies used to be, the way those Will Ferrell comedies used to be, the way you got your those David Fincher movies. Just what I mean?
Yeah.
Like thrillers and comedies and horror movies. Like have it to that caliber and put the money in that. You know what I mean? I would say that would be the only saving grace of Netflix just devouring every fucking thing.
Well, I think it's just weird, man. It's like they're moving to, it's almost like a model where we just subscribe to rich people to make stuff for us to watch.
Well, yeah.
It's just like they make them directly at the streaming service. Now they all have their own studios and shit.
Yeah.
And they just pump out stuff.
Well, that's what they
subscribe and they put it on, and
that's what they want. But the thing is there is starting to become, I don't know how heavy it is, and some of it just might be confirmation bias for me, but there has been a lot of pushback into analog and into artists, direct to artists, creators type of spaces and vessels, just because people don't want to do the subscription model thing. They don't want to have to subscribe. And on top of that, the bigger con of it is the not owning anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, at this point, just
it's like you're just leasing life.
Put it all back together, call it cable again, and just charge me $100 for all of it a month. And just sorry we tried to do anything on our own, a la carte or on demand.
And that's the thing. Either way, they're go, because they were complaining so much about the cable thing. But I mean, as you can see with Netflix consuming everything, the streaming model is much more lucrative, even though they cry about, oh, we're losing money. They just want to keep making more money.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they put ad dollars on it.
It's also it's literally just the streaming is just the digital version of cable. Like it's just the internet.
But there's the self piracy, that sucking your own dick thing that happens with streaming is part of the problem, because that's partly what's going on with music. How a Spotify can benefit off of people bodying music, because it seems like this person is getting all these spins, which means you get more ad dollars, which means Spotify makes more money, but you can have like just this constant feedback loop of falseness. That's one of the bad things about streaming, because even with watching stuff on Netflix, it's such a passive watch that you can't really quantify if people are watching, but if it seems that way, it just keeps this monster going, but it's a falseness to that. There's no real growth in that part of the model, you know.
It's so crazy. It's just fucking weird how entertainment, it's like there's just billions and billions of dollars in it, and if you broke it down to just like this is such a dumb stoned like Joe Rogan thought, but like if you just break it down to like cave people, just people in nowhere, like in small, like, you know, 1,000 years ago in a small community, and there's like a few people that are like, we're gonna put on a play, like we're just gonna act like shit. People watching it,
that always did amaze me,
like whatever that is, like plays and shit, like
humans love stories, man.
We took that impulse and turned it into like $1 billion industry that just eats everyone's soul away.
Well, everything will be commodified under capitalism. That's the problem, the commodification of art. And that's why I think that whole in-shitification saying, things just slowly descend into shit. Capitalism is part of the reason for that. That's the reason a lot of artists' first albums are their best, or some of their first books or their first movies are their best, because a lot of times that's what you've built up your life to do, and you've been collecting this knowledge and doing all this stuff, and then you finally get to see it to fruition, and then the money comes in, and then the studio's like, okay, do it again. And you're like, all right, but like, and they're like, we need one in a year.
Yeah.
We'll give you more money, but we need it in a year. If you give us 2 in 3 years, we'll give you more money. And that's how you just start.
I do think that in behind all that, like, you get, luckily once in a while, movies that are art or come from art.
Again, because there will always be pushback. Because, again, we're starting to see that. Because, I mean, we're not the only ones that notice. And I do have faith in that part of art, because some people are poo-pooing, like, oh, you know, gone are the days of movies or this or that. I think movies will be around. I don't know how, you know, that analogy when they compare stuff to jazz, you know, how jazz is still around, but it's not, you know, top 10. So I don't know how in the mainstream it'll be, but humans will always want human connection. And as disconnected as we are in some ways, it's driving people to be more connected, you know? So it's just be interesting what actually rises to the top. That's going to be like the main consumption of art that feels real.
Yeah, this is like, this comes from kind of a dumb place, but I'll explain.
You don't have to do all these qualifiers.
I was watching, I went down a rabbit hole on like British comedy, some different like old TV shows and stuff. Yeah. And they're not even that old, but
like The Office and shit.
And
shit, that's all I know. Like The Office and shit.
I haven't watched that one. There's a show called Plebes that's like a sitcom, but it's in ancient Rome.
That. Yeah.
And I was watching it, and it's just funny the way, like, it's very anachronistic. Like, they bring like modern, like, they all have like modern day British accents that live in the town and shit like that, but it's all like also accent. Very accurate in like the set and design and like the clothing, and like the period piece of it is all like super accurate.
Yeah.
And it's just like a dirty comedy series, like sitcom series, like guys that are roommates and they're always trying to get laid or like party or like start a business or like they're doing typical sitcom tropes, but
That's funny.
ancient Rome. And it made me think like we just think like people probably weren't that different. Like they probably
as far as the way societies are set up.
Yeah, they probably had the same issue. Like they were dating and trying to find a mate. Trying to
that's the
get
thing with
by
humans
and have enough food.
Is
and
we're
rent
all the same because we are. That's why every society has music, has art, and then has
Rome had
food and just all the things. But the but that I'll put in there though is there's always something in a culture that from a certain other cultures look is like. Ew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always that in there.
Well, like they didn't have electric, right?
Yeah.
Like everything was candle and like things were probably dirtier and shit like that,
Yeah.
but it was normal to them.
Yeah.
Like it was just the house but they were also like they had plumbing and like a system to get their shit out of their homes and
But that was one of the reasons that the cities
modern in that way and shit, and like literature and art and everything. Like they had plays and like.
But most people were illiterate. It wasn't the literacy rate wasn't nearly as like written word back then was more so for commerce. And
there's a season where they try to open a bar or like a brothel or whatever, and it's like in an old toilet, which is like. They would have like rooms where you like their public restrooms would be like open stalls.
Yeah, I've seen them, and the's like a hole cut in this.
So they in the show
like
they
a horseshoe shape.
Yeah,
and everyone's just like chilling.
They scammed this like senator out of like one of his properties that he gives them, and it ends up being an old toilet, and they convert it to a bar. And one of the barmaids they try to hire because the one guy's trying to fuck her. She can't read, and they hire a barmaid that can't read, and that's like the sitcom joke. And that one is like there's they get a bunch of jokes. And shit, but
it's like no one can read. Why would we be able to read? Yeah, if every culture is the same, but there's always going to be some like ew, you guys are.
Well, when you think about it,
you eat that. You do that.
It just made me think that
you guys get to fuck that. Like it's all what I'm saying.
Just the electricity is what makes us think that we're so far we're like this is your modern time. Like we're not that modern. Though. We're shooting people in the face in public, and
even then, back then, even though they didn't have electricity, like they weren't stupid. The times were adapted for it. In Africa, dude, in Benin, they had paved streets and they had gas or oil lamps like as fucking like street lights. It was like lit up. This is what the Europeans said when they started first trading with them, because they were surprised that these cities in Africa were so advanced. But it was paved. It was like paved streets, and they had street lights for you to go down different streets. They had multi-story houses, and Ashanti they had toilets. You know what I mean? This is the 1700s. You know what I mean? It's so much shit that gets erased in history. Timbuktu, which was in the Mali Empire, you can look at all this up. I'm not making it up. That was one of the largest libraries in Western Africa, and to this day, some of the books that were kept, they had to kind of smuggle around because when they were like burning shit and starting to colonize, they were getting rid of a lot of that stuff. These were written. These were Muslim, so it was written in Arabic, but they got written in different African dialects because these were African, like Muslims. But to your point, it was like no matter where you go, this part of the world, like the Ohio mounds and the Mississippi people who had these like big houses and shit before all the pestilence and disease came through, people always did the same thing. They lived in cool communities. They had their unique food of the day. People were trying to get pussy, and then there was conquering and shit going on. But
we act like everything was so primitive and we're so advanced now, and it was pretty much this just without electric. Like it wasn't like they had police, they had taxes and systems of government, and everything.
Now,
else.
different people did them different ways. It wasn't always the same, but there
wasn't the way we do it.
But there were ways to pass along wealth, to declare ownership, even if you didn't have the same view of ownership. Same way with slavery and things like that. People or marriage, you know what I mean. That's why some places looked more poly. You didn't necessarily have gay coded language, but it was understood that like these type of people are trans and these type of people just go with these type of people, but they just had different language for it, you know what I mean?
And it's not consistent whether people gave a shit about that or not either.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It says back to like the Rome and Greece and all this other stuff. Yeah. It was times. It was like, hey, well, the ladies are gone, let's suck each other's dick, you know what I'm saying? Like, and in different African cultures it was like that. It was women who would be with women and men who would be with men. They had like different names for it, but it wasn't this. A lot of shit came through religion. It's like
Western religion,
and then that puritanical
or the
whole
Western
thing.
version of.
Because one of the problems too, back to like Middle East, and when you get into Arabic people, was like they were like killing it forever. And then when Islam was discovered, some of that slowed down their technological, because they were all the scientists and astronomers. Like everything that you see with al in front of it is Arabic. Algebra, alchemy, like all that. Our words that we use, our numbers that's all Arabic. And they were, matter of fact, they
Al
were
Jazeera.
there were some of the ones who. When the Crusades came, that Europe came out of the Dark Ages because it was them who preserved all those records from Greece and Rome. But when religion came, that slowed a lot of that down. And a lot of people argue that that's the spread of religion has been a little bit, not even a little bit, a lot to the detriment of a lot of places where it got to, because there was a certain amount of progressive thought that you just couldn't have in that type of dogmatic pattern of thought. Did I steer the car too far?
No.
Are we in the cornfields? Back on the road.
No. I mean, it reinforces what I was getting at is like
people gonna people.
Yeah, people gonna people.
Yeah. I was watching this thing and it was talking about cultural differences. I feel so stupid because I never thought of it this way, but this guy, because they were criticizing like people who like eat with their hands, and like you see that in Indian culture and African culture and a lot of cultures, like people like eating with their hands, and that shit looks like gross, and I always would see that, and I'm like and this guy was talking and he was explaining it, and he was like, on the outside looking in, you're looking like as if these people don't know what spoons and forks and knives are. They do. They're doing this because it's a part of their culture. They're not doing it because they don't know that there's a cleaner way. And the only like comparison, it would be like how we laugh at people who eat pizza with a fork and knife. There's just certain things that is more. And that was the first time I really started. It's still gross to me, but that was the first time I started getting my mind around it. And that's how a lot of that xenophobia and shit pops up, because you will see something that you seem as being like beneath, like, I don't really. But then when you get to the human part of it, right, we're just doing.
At least that you've been taught is done for a reason. Like
right.
Like we believe that using metal utensils is cleaner somehow.
Yeah.
And
even that they say it's fairly new. People only been doing that for like 150 years or so. That was something that was seen that royalty did. You know what I mean? Like you had like instruments, but it wasn't common. People ate with their hands.
You had one fork.
yeah. Like people had the luxury of having.
And we all shared one fork back in my day.
Where's the shit knife? The shitter's clogged up again.
You had to eat it one at a time and shit in pairs.
In case one of y'all fall down that shit well, somebody else can run for help before the methane fumes get to you. Oh, imagine. Yeah. That is why Andy Dufresne would have died in that pipe, dude.
That's why I like to have my own.
Stop! I will walk out.
I like to have my own house out back.
I will walk out
in the backyard.
I will walk out. I will counteract your fucking boss hog ass voice with the most ratchet nigga voice.
Rush Hour 5. Here we go.
Who? What? Me? Not me. You.
Oh,
well, stereotypes. What else happened this week?
I used a fork to eat my sandwich.
No, don't you think on that spectrum somewhere though, like there's like people that eat with their hands that are looking at somebody with a fork, like, what are you, fucking gay? What are you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the way we look at people who eat pizza with a fork and knife. It's like,
Yeah.
who the fuck do you think you are? Just fucking pick it up, you fucking pussy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Perception. Fucking perception is reality, man. Like, I remember growing up as a young black kid in the 80s, and then in the 90s as people started dating, and it was so taboo, like, to get head or to give head. You know, I don't need pussy. I
Oh
don't suck dick, blah, 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 blah.
I'm familiar with this from The Sopranos.
Yeah,
A couple of-
Junior whistling into the
just
willows.
a couple of episodes I saw.
Yeah.
I finished it. But
And now it's like I never forget. I was bartending in Columbus, and this girl, she was grown, but she was young. She's like in her 20s, and her mom was at the bar, and they're just talking, and she's talking about just giving blowjobs with her mom, and her mom's laughing about it, and I was just like, oh, how far we've come, pun intended. Now this is also a black-white thing. White people are more. Patrice O'Neal had a joke about that. How white women are, like, I think 15 years ahead sexually than black women. Like they go through the sexual revolution shit first, and then we play catch up. So yeah.
I don't know
We just
anything about it.
Oh, you know all about it, Chris. Don't play with me, you selfish lover. You. Chris is a selfish lover.
That may have been true up until internet, and then I think everybody
Oh yeah.
it's all leveled out.
And again, to the point of everybody's the same. The women were sucking dick, the guys were eating pussy. They just weren't talking about it. Just like Junior Soprano. It's one of those things everybody.
I think if there was ever taboo around that, it's because they didn't have like soap or like.
No, even then that's another thing. They had
the
soap.
Smells were different.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had soap.
Yeah.
It existed, but.
I think me personally, I don't think it's the hygiene of the soap. I think it's like it just kind of got popular to start shaving down there. I think that was it. Even if it's a clean ass, nobody wants to eat a hairy
I blame the internet
clean
for
ass.
that.
Oh well, yeah.
Because it was a porn thing. Because it's like visually
Just aesthetically
easier to see what's going on, and then it just
And a hairy pussy
like,
looks ridiculous.
trended. I don't have a problem with. I don't care what they do.
I don't care what they do either. But here's the thing. So internet will have you think there's just hair here on the pussy. An unshaved pussy is a forest in all directions. And it's like, and even as a man, I'm not trying to woman shave. That happens to men. When I shave my fucking balls and ass too. Like you always just have a clean spot that's cleared out. Some nuked territory in a otherwise.
I mean,
heavily forested area.
Trimming so you're not zipping up the hair and stuff, I guess. I don't really give a shit.
Whatever. I like a hairy bush.
Here's what I tell ladies.
Fuck you.
I tell them, listen, honey, you do whatever you want down there.
I'm not responding to that. I'm not. You ever watch Wayne's World?
Wayne's World? Yeah.
When he would do the leprechaun and just free guard. That's my leprechaun. Fucking stop it, dude. I'm the leprechaun. Like, stop, dude.
No, anytime I've been asked, I don't care. I think anybody should just do whatever makes them feel the most like having sex with me that day.
Yeah.
Whatever makes them comfortable.
Whatever gets your serotonin and oxytocin going.
I do. I don't hate a little bit of armpit hair, but that's a whole thing.
You don't hate? Oh, I can't do that. Oh. I mean, you know, you don't have to be fresh for me every day type of thing. Like, you're a human being. I get it. But again, my fucking pit is shaved. So like, can we meet halfway?
Gay.
Hey man. I finally found the perfect paraffin and perfume and aluminum-free deodorant that I actually don't sweat through. But it was giving me those like knots in my hair, and that shit just looks gross. So I just cut the hair off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. See, there's a reason.
There's a logic.
Yeah. I ain't just posing like this. Like, oh my god, get rid of it. It's too much.
You do notice that a lot of women that don't shave, like, they are constantly doing this shit in pictures. Like, they don't, not like they should hide it, but they go out of their way.
Everyone is self-aware.
It's like somebody with a new tattoo. Like, you pull your sleeves up that day.
It's the dude in sweatpants who got a good pop going. It's the girl who forgot her bra and her nipples are out. Everyone knows what they're doing. Yeah. Dude, I remember this girl came into my bar. It was her birthday, and she had it was like a sports jacket. She was like dressed up, but she had like a sports jacket type of thing. Her titties were literally coming out. Like, I could see her whole I was like, your titties are out there. Like, you got. I could tell she was like a little. She had been drinking a little bit. She was supposed to meet some friends, and nobody showed up, so she was there by herself. So she was all sad. And then, so she's just titties out. And then she's young and pretty, so part of it was just an attention thing. But I'm like, I get it, you're sad and pretty, but like, put your titties away. Like,
somebody's gonna buy my drinks.
I definitely. I got your drinks. That was tough. Oh, she has some nice looking titties. Oh my god. If you're out there, if you see this, thank you for that night. One of her friends.
That's what I know about alt girls. If you see a girl doing this shit on a bar patio, that's a trap. That's
a bad signal.
Putting out pheromones.
It kind of stinks a little bit, but it wants you.
Yeah.
It's a spitter. Those girls you fuck where you pull out in their pants, and it ain't like funky, but they know, it's been a day, so they're like, is it okay down there? You gotta lie because you're already hard. Yeah, you're fine. Never got that.
I mean, I know what you mean, but it's never. I don't care. It's
not that I'm picturing you having sex, but you're painting a picture for me now. Just a hairy, smelly one. Just a room that needs to be aired out after it's done. Like, don't go in there, don't go.
The room will stink.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be that way. Like, even if it gets like something was clearly going on in here, it doesn't have. When it gets to that level.
No, what I mean is I've never had an experience where I was like, where it was so bad, or like where I was like, ugh.
I had the stinkiest I've had was in my younger years, like dealing with girls in their 20s, which is one of the reasons we've talked about this on this podcast. But one of the many reasons I've never been attracted to super young girls, because every stinky pussy I've smelled was on a younger than 25-year-old. Older than 18. But it's like I was teasing this one girl who was a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, and I told her, I was like, you are like a 16-year-old boy with a pussy hole. Like, you just run outside and play with it and barely take care of it. Come home and rinse it off every 3 days. It's like, you're not even doing it right.
Damn.
Just reckless with it. Like, oh my god. But what do I know? Am I mansplaining right now? Maybe.
Yeah. What do you know? You don't got one.
No, if I did, I'd be at home fingering myself in the mirror right now. God, I already masturbate enough with a dick. If I had a pussy hole, oh my god. but I ain't gay, so I wouldn't shove anything up there. Not never. I'd be a straight clitoral stimulation, and I'd scissor all my lesbian women.
That would be gay.
But the right gay.
This is one of the things Joe Rogan has said that people point to that.
His love of wanting to see how it feels to get fucked.
If he was a woman. All the things he would do.
Yeah, I've seen a collage of his jokes talking about that just in succession, and yeah. All that pans out. He's clearly, not that there's anything wrong with it, but he's clearly I need a finger in my ass every blowjob type of guy. Like, I can't finish it.
Yeah.
Which I ain't hating on. I'm in my 40s. I have discovered where my prostate is, so I get it. But like, Joe, you don't have to be that super masculine because it makes you super.
You don't got to be depraved every time.
Yeah. Just that overcompensation is making you just.
Have you ever? This is like a big topic. You ever seen Chasing Amy? The Kevin Smith movie. It's like a 90s like.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that's the one I didn't see. Yeah, because I finally even got to Mallrats, but I didn't know. I haven't seen Chasing Amy.
So it's kind of about like the guy. He's like meets this girl that's like a lesbian, or she's bisexual really, but she thinks she's a lesbian.
I know,
and they get together. Ben Affleck and
I think I did see this a long time ago.
So he like destroys the whole relationship because he can't handle the fact that she had a threesome with two guys before.
Yeah.
And when he finds out about that, it causes a whole big fight and stuff like that. Does that has that kind of? Have you ever found out something like that about someone?
Oh yeah.
Like, I can't date them.
Oh yeah,
like it changes.
Fuck yeah. It's been on different accounts. Part of it was like a TMI meets insecurity in me type of deal, and then part of it was just like I mean, that's all good for you, but I don't get down like that, and now I feel kind of shitty having got down with somebody who, you know what I mean. And we've talked about this before on the podcast. There's certain, it's a don't yuck a person's yum. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with as being as prudish as you want or being as fucking whorish as you want, but you can't shame a person in either direction. Because to her, the threesome was just like, I'm just fucking having fun. But to somebody who's not into that, who likes a woman who exclusively likes to be with one guy, you know. And it's a woman who don't like butt sex, but the guy who wants to, you know what I mean? Like, you can...
Yeah, you can justify like different.
Yeah. Certain people are just into certain things, and I just hate when it goes too far in either direction. When you either try to shit on somebody and make them be super like, oh, you're bad. Like, it's sex. Something's gonna offend somebody if it's two consenting people doing it. Let them, or three. let them do their thing. But at the same time, if certain people don't have that sensibility, you can't make them feel like shit. You know what I mean? Like if I smoke weed, but you don't smoke weed, like you can't. It's like, all right, I just won't smoke, but don't make me feel like shit for doing it. Does it make you
completely incompatible? If it's like something that's part of their, like it's just something they've done in the past, as compared to something that they want to introduce, you know. There's
so many variables in that equation. On the side when I felt kind of more insecure, and it was just because. And this has happened to me a lot, just because I don't have a ton of women I've slept with. I've got a relatively short list. So there are certain women I have been with to where they were so much more sexually experienced than I was, that there was an inadequacy that I felt. And in a small way of jealousy, like, and not even like I want to fuck the dudes, but like I wish I had access to that type of sex. And the fact that this person does and I don't, and somebody got to have her in a funner way, there's a certain amount of jealousy there.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like You mean like if somebody was just like, yeah, I've tried anal before and I didn't like it, I don't think I would feel badly to be like, but you won't do it with me.
Yeah.
I mean, if they went out that day and did it and then came back
I wouldn't
home
feel bad. I
were
wouldn't
like,
feel bad about that either. But there's a guy that would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you could switch it around, hey, my girlfriend used to put her finger in my ass when she blew me, but it was just okay. And then the girl you could be was like, you know what I mean? Like, you can always gross somebody out and that's another thing that makes people compartmentalize and lie and cheat when it comes to sex, because people don't want to get kink shamed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't want to get. Guys don't want to be with women who've been with a ton of other guys, but there's so many women who are like, there's so many of those guys that could be on that list that they're not even thinking about. They don't even remember, and which further might, piss the guy off and make her not want to be with her. But it's like, as a guy, a lot of women are like, you're putting more thought into this whole thing than I am. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have as much sexual stock into and what you consider to be my past. A lot of these things were just me, because I remember doing that, and you were like, oh man, you were with this guy and this guy and this guy, and you're like, it seems like she's getting around. But one of the things I found out about a lot of those type of women, it'll seem that way on paper, but outside of that, they're not really having a lot of sex because they're not in relationships. So yeah, they're hooking up here and there, but if that was a relationship and it was just one guy, we fucked 3 times this week, but not for 3 weeks, and then we fucked again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the numbers can add up when you're adding different men in there, but it's not it's not even a consistent. That's one of the things I found fucking promiscuous women, is you think they're promiscuous, and they are because they got like a roster, but they're not fucking a lot. They're just fucking a lot of different people. It's weird, man. You know what I mean? Because
it might be 12 different people in 2 years, but in the same time,
they can go weeks or months at a time here, and then they could fuck a lot within these amount of weeks. You know what I mean? It's just a different frequency, because I found that, like, being in long-term relationships, and then even when like the sex slowed down, but you're still consistently fucking, you know what I mean? And then I would have these interactions with these women who are a little more promiscuous, and I would think, oh, finally I got it, whatever, like, let's do it. And when they want to do it, they do, but then when they're off, they're just off. And I'm expecting that girlfriend energy of like, well, it's been 24 hours, you should want to. And she has a more independent state of mind, like, well, my body isn't supposed to be at ready for you. And that's another thing, as men, we have to get over, because once you have a woman, you expect to be able to have access to her. And I think that fucks up our ego when we can't, Look at me trying to evolve sexually.
Well,
I've been in some precarious
what I would say to
situations,
that is compatibility is important.
Yes.
So it's up to you if you're with somebody that does whatever their thing is doesn't match what yours is, then you gotta sort that out.
And then that's the thing. Once it gets to that point, it's about communication. You know what I mean? Oh my God, so many relationships get fucked up because the communication isn't there, and then the resentment builds in. And when that resentment, once that's there, that shit festers, and there's no amount of apologies or I'm sorry, blowjobs or whatever the fuck that's gonna make that go, or in the other direction, Once that resentment starts building up, that house of cards is about to fall, and it sucks. I don't know. How do we get into relationships? Look at us being a kinder, gentler podcast. We're 43 minutes in.
I don't know why, but I was asking. I thought of that movie, and then
I went off on a tangent again. Sorry.
Just the idea of if it's a deal breaker. I don't know why it came up. I don't remember.
For me currently, if I was single and I got with a girl what I liked, and then I found out she was in a again at this point in my life, if she was anywhere close to my age, I was like, well, that's just a lot. I mean, we're older, but the other thing, my biggest thing is just proximity. Am I going to be going to my favorite restaurant, bar, or something, and we're going to be running into dudes who Eiffel Towered you? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Are these people that are still?
And not that
is it your dad and uncle?
Yeah, yeah. And not that your pussy has to be in the witness relocation program. You ain't got to move to another town every time. You know, you fucking.
No, that's a good idea.
Have a threesome.
I want to meet someone and move to a completely new town.
And again, it depends on like their relationship. Because I've been to a place where I walked in a bar and somebody who I had been with was in the bar, and it's so funny that too, because I was about to give her a little bit more friendlier than average energy, and her new boyfriend was there, and she immediately she was like. And I was like, okay. It's so funny that shorthand that happens, and I think that's why on my end of it, I wouldn't want to be with a person who had like I because I don't want somebody walking into a room and I'm there with my girl and it's it's two big ass dudes or two fat ass dudes.
Yeah,
and she's like.
Hey, what's up, baby?
She's like, and you're like, what? And then you said, okay. So I went through this with a young lady, and I think I might have talked about this.
I was in the car real quick. I was in the car with an ex one time.
Yeah.
And her phone rang, and she was on the Bluetooth, and it was some guy at work, and she answered it, and as soon as he said hello, just the way, like, just the tone. I was like, by the time I turned my head, she was like taking it off of Bluetooth.
Yep.
Okay.
You could feel it. I remember I was with this girl, and we had worked in a restaurant, so there's going to be some canoodling amongst coworkers, and it was this dude that I knew she had been with, but whatever. That was like in the past. As far as I know, it was like at least a couple years ago. So whatever. And I had started messing with her, but we were all out at this work function, you know what I'm saying? And then the guy came up, and me and him were cool, and then he sees her, and then they hug. But the way the hug was, I remember talking to her later about that, and I was like, you guys.
That's the one you were talking about.
I was like, you said you guys, you used to mess around back and whatever, but like. When was the last time? And she was like, well, it was way recent. Like it was right before me and her started messing around. And then she was kind of like, she was kind of like, how could you tell? I was like, I could tell the way that hug was. Because I've been on the other side of that hug. I've been that guy who sees the girl and you hug her, and then her new dude's in the corner. You could just feel it, a residual energy still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what makes it awkward being in those situations, because depending on people's maturity and people's intention, there's a way of just being like, let's keep this in the past. I'm not trying to disrespect the person who's here. And there's another way of just being a scumbag of always having somebody to give a wink and a nod to.
Yeah.
That's when it gets shitty. You know what I mean? Because I had a friend like that. We would go to a bar and he was like, I fucked 3 girls in here. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And even on the male side of it, it's scummy. So you don't want to feel like your girl's doing that with like oh, I've blown 5 guys.
You definitely, when you're around someone you've fucked before and their boyfriend is there or something, like you definitely like walk a certain like you.
And I try to be very respectful. I don't try to be cute. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't try to be.
But you still, in the back of your mind, you're still going like, yep.
Yeah.
And
then she put it back in.
Maybe that's why. maybe that's why I feel uncomfortable in those, because I'm projecting what I would be thinking. But
yeah. Well, again,
not really.
It depends on how everybody takes it. But I remember having this conversation with somebody about that. This girl I was with, and we were talking about like. Being in proximity with people that we have messed around with, and she was saying how it's water under the bridge. It's not like that. I can operate, and I do think women are better than that. At that than men are.
Because directly, I've slept with women that were then like completely like it never happened.
Yeah. But I will say that my rebuttal I had to her was, in my situation, my experience with that is, yeah, you can do that, but every woman that I've been cool with, that I've had some type of intimacy with, there's still like a wink and a nod there, and whenever I want to take it there, they'll engage. You know what I mean? And that's why I was weary on her side of it, because I'm like, even if you are saying that, you know, you can do this water under the bridge and whatever, I know how men think, and I know how women think, and I know how even the women that who I'm cool with, who are in relationships with other people, if I've had a type of intimacy with them, 9 times out of 10, if I try to poke that bear, that I can get something going. So it makes me question in the other direction. What is your? Do you play in that area?
Are you sure?
Huh?
Yeah. Are you sure, or do you?
Well, maybe not at this fucking point. I mean, I've been with the girl I've been with in a while. I'm making an assumption, but
if it was like a more recent
I'm
thing.
making it. Yeah, this is a while ago. I've been with the same girl for a while now. But like, but no, but you know, it's deductive reasoning. You know what I mean? The same way I slept with you is the same way. Like, even when we're friends, but I poke at you, I can get like certain smiles, certain hey, what you doing after work, and you know what I mean? I can. Yeah. It don't take much to make that tree go timber, like. So that's why sometimes people are disingenuous when they try to say like, oh no, it's because again, depending on people's maturity and intentions and stuff like that.
Well, like somebody that's like like. Specifically, it's when women when they are narcissists, not that they all are, but when they are, and this I'm only because this is what I read about and
he's already
witnessed.
Digging a hole.
No, I started reading about it, and like I had a breakup and shit, and and I shit in the floor living room before I moved.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, she broke up with you when you were naked.
Yeah.
Put your clothes on. Nope, because you're gonna break up. I'm gonna shit here.
I was describing the relationship to a third person, and they were like, "Oh, you need to really read up on narcissism." And I did, and I was like, because you hear it all the time, but it like it's one of those things that gets overused.
Yeah.
But when I went
but it does
into,
exist for a reason, because there are
really
people out there.
Like on medical websites, looked at like the signs and like all the habits and things.
Yeah.
It was like like almost too specific.
Like
it was like like they had a video camera
like, ding,
following me around. I almost puked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, holy shit, this is like everything.
To your point of like that chasing Amy and how would you feel about this and that, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, it's another word that gets thrown around, but you get gaslit a lot, and that is something that happens when it comes to especially if you do have some sexual insecurities and things like that, because two things could exist at the same time. I can be being insecure, but you can also be not acknowledging my feelings and where I am sexually and what I am comfortable with, and overriding me and trying to normalize something, and you know what I mean, that I'm not ready to normalize. You know what I mean? So that's where the gaslighting comes in, dealing with narcissistic people.
Yeah, well, and just the because they don't give a fuck. Like, they will let you think you're crazy to protect the lie that they're telling.
Yeah.
But the reason I mention it is just because they will have guy friends and make you feel like you're being insecure and shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I should be able to have friends. Like, that is true.
We're just going to a bar,
but
okay? I'm coming home. We've drank before. What do you think? He's gonna fuck me on the pool table?
Yeah,
you sound ridiculous. That, and then you start questioning yourself. Like,
but also, they will string along people and not fuck them like that, just because it just
to have an admirer in their orbit.
The orbit, yeah, that's the word that they kept. They're like these orbit people that they like to string along and keep in contact with, and
people.
Draw. They'll drop them a nude once in a while, like a breadcrumb to keep them going.
And it'll drive you crazy, and you'll be questioning yourself. And that's the other thing. Like, when you were talking about the ding, 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 here's another key phrase that they do is the love bombing. And then they'll get you all on their side. They'll give you wild, crazy sex, and then you're back into the bosom of everything that is. And then you'll slowly start either finding out stuff, or they'll do things that contradict what they say their principles were about and other things. And then you'll call them on it, and then they'll say that you're trying to guilt trip them, or you're trying to lecture them, or tell them how to feel and stuff like that. And it's like, fuck me for having crazy boundaries, you know what I mean? And they don't respect that, but then they want to create.
And now especially and like you do got to be careful if you're liberal, because now there's all this extra therapy language, where like verbiage that they'll throw at you to use in the gaslighting and shit.
Yes,
they're like, you're insecure, and you're like, they use all that shit that they've learned in therapy because they've had to go because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And they
so
use
you get tied into this convoluted conversation that somehow always reverts back to you.
You're being manipulative. And you're I don't owe you anything. Like, they use all those phrases that are like applied psychotherapy.
You don't
shit.
hold space for me.
Yeah.
Just and again, just
if you're too big for them, let them choke.
Yeah. Just weaponized therapy.
Yep.
It's fucked up what the human mind will do to preserve the ego. That's one of the things I try to get to, because I know I can be an asshole and I can be arrogant and stuff like that. So you at least got to get to your inner truth. Like, am I doing this out of logic or out of ego, or where is this coming from? Like, where is this? Because I've come to learn that, because I got my flaws and I got like jealousy and certain shit in me, but I call it the drunk man. Like, you know when you get really drunk to the point right when you start to get sick, if you get the spins or something like that, and then there's a sober person in there, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have went this far, and this is about to suck. And
you're still.
I have that when it comes to like my shitty emotions and jealousy and stuff like that, to where like
I hate that voice.
Like the drunkenness, I can't turn off when I feel like that, but I have learned to cultivate the sober part of my mind. It's like, yes, you're feeling like this, John, but that part of my mind, let the energy pass. Like, don't try to fight it. Don't try to act like it ain't what it is. Mushrooms and acid and shit, like that part of your mind is like your ego, right? Like, yes. It literally that's front
the part you're trying to kill when you're doing acid and stuff. And it never. I got up to a lot of acid use for a while. And I could never shut that voice up.
You never had any ego
never stops.
Well, what's blocking it to do? You need some ayahuasca.
Time,
you need something strong.
No matter how high I got, I still had that voice going like, I'm just high. That's all this is. I never got immersed.
You need ayahuasca,
I like couldn't break on through, as Jim Morrison called it.
You need to throw up and fucking cry in a bucket. 12 hours.
Not enough acid in the world to kill that voice. I don't know what it is. I decided at some point, like, maybe I should stop trying, because I'm killing the rest of my brain trying to do it.
Yeah. And maybe
it's good.
Well, maybe part of you thought that was the path. Maybe that's not the path to your ego death. Yeah. Maybe the path to it isn't in a psychedelic state. Maybe it's in a different state.
Oh, it'll be. I'll drop an egg on the floor or something and just melt down.
So and that's probably what you need too, because your mind probably, the way it works, it built up a blockage right there before you could even get to it. Like, on a subconscious level, you knew you were doing these psychedelics to try to unlock something. And before your ego was like, I am going to remember. It's like when you go out with somebody and you keep telling them like, we're not fucking. It's like, no matter what happens, I don't care how far this goes, this is not gonna happen. And that's what your ego did for all that psilocybin and everything else. Is like, nope, you can't get in this pineal gland. You're gonna stay out. You get to dance around, and my eyes are dilated, and this is giggly, but you're not getting anywhere near my. Yeah, you had it boarded up already.
I had a weird. Did I tell you about the council?
Maybe.
It was just a weird thing when I would trip. I had when I would try to organize my brain.
Yeah.
I had a council of different versions of myself that would sit at a table. I would do it in a meditation.
That's funny.
Yeah, it would be yeah.
The closest I ever got to that, I still remember the first time I got high. Just smoking weed, and I'm sitting back listening to Tupac's "Me Against the World," greatest album ever made. And I remember that was the first time, that's why I'm such a weed head to this point now. It's time slowed down. All my thoughts got compartmentalized, and I literally visualized my thoughts as being these file cabinets. And I would open one, and I would visually see it, and I would see different thoughts, and I would see where they were, and then I would close it, and then I would open this, and it was but it was that's.
I did that, and mine had years on them.
Nice.
And some of them were empty. And I was like, what the fuck happened that year? I don't know what happened in '84, but it is not good.
But it was the first time my mind kind of got settled, and I could find where shit was. It was because I have lucid dreams too, and I learned how to control them.
What were you high on?
It was just weed.
Really?
But it was literally the first time I ever got high. I had smoked before that, but you know how that first time you smoke, you don't get high. I never forget, I was over my aunt's house. I was a teenager. I had just smoked a joint with them, and I'm laying on the ground, and I'm
just gave me an idea.
And I was damn, I guess I just don't get high. And then it was bam. And it hit and went out. And like I said, I was listening to Me Against the World, and that album was amazing. I was going through a lot of shit at that time in my life too. And then and I was just on a journey, man. And it was just and I don't know if you had those moments when you first get high when you're a teenager, and you're just in that dark room at night by yourself with the music going. It was all that. And it was just a perfect scenario.
A teenager. This morning.
but you know the genesis of it all.
You got your black light and
oh my god, and it was and it was just a good time. It was, I started learning, and too, like I said, that was a shitty part of my life. I was going through a lot of stuff too, so that was the first time that something did something about my anxiety. And I didn't have words for it. I wasn't thinking that in the moment. I wasn't thinking I feel relieved, or this has helped my anxiety, or I can compartmentalize thoughts. It was just
calmed your mind and shit.
Yeah. In a surprising way. What the fuck?
This wasn't from getting high, but when I said one of the times I went to therapy, one of the sessions.
One of those times I threw money out.
One of the periods. They told me about meditation and stuff, so I started looking into it on YouTube, as you do. That's where we all do our research now. But I used to have my jaws would clench, I had this tense thing and grind in my jaw and in here my whole life. And when I did the meditation and where they talk you through relaxing each muscle mentally, it went away, and it's been gone ever since. It's been 6 years.
That had to be a hell of a relief.
Yeah, it was wild. It was the first time I was oh, okay, these kind of things actually do work.
Probably changed your sleep too, right?
Yeah, I mean I became a completely more relaxed
I don't do it like I used to, but I used to grind my teeth in my sleep to the point where I would wake up thinking I'm about to grind my teeth out of my mouth, I'm about to pop my teeth out of my mouth.
It's not a teeth grinding thing. It was just this tent in my neck.
I just mean this muscle right here.
Yeah,
when you bite down, that comes out. Yeah.
It's I was bracing myself my whole life to get hit. Probably a child abuse.
I was about to say, yeah, that is unresolved trauma, dude.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
had that in posture and other things that you don't realize that you've been doing. I'll never forget my one friend. He had this little piece of advice we used to do, because we used to be just outside on all these cold winter days. Stealing stuff, selling crack cocaine, and so it would be cold, and we were just out at the bus stop and shit like that. But I never forget my friend Sean. He was like, you ever been shivering outside and like shivering to the point to where your body kind of start hurting just from the shivering, and then you just stop yourself and then relax. And then he told me that, and then I did that, and it makes you laugh because, like, you know, your body shivers to warm you up because, you know, you're moving and you're getting cold. But you can do it to a point where it's just hurting and you're just and after he told me that, every time I would shiver, I would just stop myself, and then it would just be a calm that would come over you. And like, and to that point of like your jaw and shit, like you can get into these hyper, like anxiety, just stress states, and then it just, your homeostasis keeps you there, and you have to mindfully pull yourself out of there, because you could be there so much you can think that that's where you idle. Like, I'm supposed to be at an 8.
It's like, where I did idle for like my whole life, and it was like into like my neck and like jaw and like it's like my lifting my shoulders or something, like, but the back part of like these certain muscles.
Oh, that's stiffness. Well, that's why they say even like when you get in a car accident, if you get in it with a drunk driver, the drunk driver lives because he's loose. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people end up dying because you're like, you tense up and just like every bone breaks. Like, that shit ain't no good for you. But also, you know,
there was do you ever watch House? The show House.
Remember that? I used to love that. I think I missed the last season.
Did you ever see the one where the it was like a guy with one arm, like his arm got blown off in Iraq or some shit, and he had like his remaining arm was like clenched, and he had like phantom pains from his other one that wasn't there, was always clenched, so he could relax this sometimes, but the other one he couldn't do. So they put a mirror in between so he could visually look like he had both hands, and he was like, and they talked him through.
I've seen that in real life. That placebo actually
he was able to relax both sides then.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know if I saw that on that show because I've seen that a number of times, like that experiment. But yeah, that's wild, dude.
It's crazy. It also makes it sound like you could potentially close your eyes and do it too but it's
I never forget, like, I never thought of it this way until somebody like said it, but they were like, the power of the human mind, like, I'm 46, never had one, but he was talking about like wet dreams, like you can literally make yourself have an orgasm through thought.
You never had a wet dream?
Not once,
dude.
I've come close. Okay, I almost had one, not last night but the night before. Tell me your thought and I'll tell you about my wet dream. My wet dreams as a teenager, it was like 4 or 5 times, but every one of them was me jacking off in the dream. It wasn't somebody doing it. Oh my God, you're an incel in your dreams. You can't even imagine.
It was in the dream. It would be like,
dude, you gotta knock that. You got that in there.
It would be like a weird situation where I was like in the middle of the street, and I would wake up and that was
like the psilocybin not being able to get into your pineal gland. Like you have a block like a motherfucker. Like even when you're asleep and imagine your brain's like, nope, do it yourself. I won't even conjure up another person to be here.
The best wet dream I had was it was a girl that was like was watching. That was the closest.
She's in the room. Yeah. No, I had a dream the other night, and it was and I've had some of these like here and there. It's always a different scenario, but it's not sex. It's not like a wet dream, but it was just a woman. And I was laying on my back, and then she got on top of me, and she had on like just a t-shirt nightgown. And I remember it so vividly. I was like, it's one of those when you wake up, you're like, no. And she was like petite, but she had a nice little butt. And then I've like put my arms around her, and I could feel like her back and the way the shirt felt, and her and all that felt so real, like beyond real. And then I just woke up and I was like, oh man, where's she at?
Yeah,
but that's my middle-aged ass. That's like the closest that my brain will let me get to, like, you know what I mean? Like, but in that, I mean, I didn't have this whole montage of a sexual thing, but but the amount of just emphasis that my brain put into those small things just culminated into being this big thing. Like I know how this girl's ass felt, and this thing didn't exist. I don't know how to explain this to you, dude.
Yeah,
it's like touching my leg right now. I never felt the way I felt in that dream. I was just like, you feel amazing. Like, and then I woke up and I was like, damn, my imagination.
Your brain's using some frame of reference.
Man, it's like I can't give you a movie, but I'll narrow it down to like that you're really gonna feel this girl's ass.
Like, your most realistic dream is just touching a butt.
The one I had before that was months earlier than that, and I couldn't even see, like, you know how some dreams you can't even see the full person, you're just like kind of, and you accept the reality of what it is. And I remember I touched her pussy, and she was like wet, and it felt so real. I was like, so yeah, my mind is like, my mind can't get the whole thing together, but it can get one thing, like,
I think
really
your brain just, it has those memories locked in, like you know
probably
what that is gonna be.
But for it to manifest in such a real way, man.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it makes sense because I've never done it, but I'm sure you can think your way to. Because I mean, that's what you do when you're jacking off. Even if when you're having sex, you're like, you're either thinking of something to help it go faster, or thinking of something to slow it down. Sometimes, not thinking of something, and it's all like mental tricks you do to make it last as long.
I've had times where I was fucking, and like to come, I had to pretend like she was sucking my dick as I'm fucking. It's like, oh, this position ain't getting it for me.
I've had to imagine third persons in the room.
And then and then the insecurity comes in, because then I'm thinking of somebody else, and then I'm like, I wonder if she's thinking about somebody else right now. Fucking bitch.
Yeah, now you're projecting.
Oh, God. Just two people whose minds are somewhere else, and she's laying there like, I'm not gonna come, and he's probably thinking about other girls. Yeah. Just all these different thought bubbles.
Usually what I'm thinking about is if I'm going for a more impressive showing, I'll just like, is my electric bill paid? What do I owe bill? Like, I'll start thinking about my bills.
You're
or
like,
something.
Is this one for me, or is this one for them?
Yeah,
because it can't be for both of us.
You try to gauge too, like if they've already had one, and you're
it's all bets are off after that.
Yeah, if you're trying to, like, if you're under the impression that they might be like, all right, wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, it depends too on the type of person. Like, my girl now, not to TMI her too much, but she's kind of a one and done. But I've been with women to where they just keep going. So if you're with a one and doneer, once they get there, it's like, all right. But if you were one who just keeps going, it's like, all right, well, just because we hit the mountaintop, there's more mountains.
Or
down
I
there.
mean, even in general, if it's somebody where it's like varies.
Yeah.
It's not always time for a full day session.
Oh, I did that in so long. Fucked all day. Oh my God.
That's for young people.
Don't count us out of the game. All right, I only have a few talents in this world. All right, cooking, comedy, and fucking. And I've been in this relationship so long, and I have acquiesced to so little intimacy at this point that I don't even think I know how to fuck anymore.
Do you want me to edit any of this?
No, I don't care. She don't give a fuck. I'm not disparaging her. If anything, she's sick of fucking me.
It's just what happens after a long time.
Yeah. I'm not coming down on her. Like, I've even said it to her. I was like, you want somebody else? Because
you trying to make a deal?
Because I don't think you can. I don't think you. There's a maturity in that. At least I like to think so. Because again, with ego, you want a person to want you, but after a certain amount of time, if there's not a certain amount of it doesn't have to be physical intimacy. You know what I mean? It can be, because full transparency on her end, she wish I was more, intimate in a.
What if I just started going, Rich, just.
So, well, I don't even know.
A better person.
Oh yeah. Not such
funnier.
An asshole, but no. So, but after a while, if you're not meeting the person's, needs in a certain way, you do wonder, like, well, I don't want to hold you hostage. You know what I mean? You want to. Hey, you have enough respect for a person that you don't want your ego to make them stay around. Especially if you feel like you're depriving them of a certain part of their life.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me like?
It's just.
I'm not confessing that. I don't know.
No, I've definitely. I
for a while, so these thoughts get explored. I
ended a long thing because I was like, I just don't. Like, I felt like I was wasting her time too.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like I can. Come
I've
home
ended
and
short-term things for the same reason.
I could come home, eat, and go to sleep by myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Love is a battlefield. Pat Benatar was right, man. I don't know. Do you see yourself ever getting married? Could you do that?
I mean, probably. I think I could be taught if I, because I'm a dummy when I do like somebody. It's just I'm all in. But
I get super like I fall hard, man.
Yeah,
but back to the ego. I have so much like ego and like.
Well, see, I say that, but like I've been in a handful of situations too where I was like, nah, I don't want this to go any further. But it's like it's just when I do, it's like, I don't know. I like as I'm saying shit out loud, I'm kind of thinking of other times where it's not as true.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends, I guess. But
I like that old Patrice O'Neill joke about men want you there, just not. What is it? Men want to be alone, but we don't want to be lonely. Like, we want you there, but we don't want you there. You know what I mean? And I sent that to my girl, and she loved it. She was like, that is definitely you, because that's kind of my love language. It's like I have a possessiveness to me, like I want you, but like go over there.
yeah.
Where you at? All right.
Can we have separate bedrooms though?
Yeah. Which I actually tell people, like, that's one of the secrets to a long-term relationship. You got to have separate bathrooms.
Or at least like your own spaces.
Yeah. We don't sleep together that much. Like, but we're on different schedules too. Like, her alarm goes off, and I'm like, all right, if it's the weekend.
I think it's weird because people usually feel like that's like the, like it's a bad sign, but it depends on your schedule.
Well, I think it can be, but again, we're different too, because
if
like
it's something that's important to you or not.
Yeah. And if I'm asleep, I need to sleep, and she is very like I'm gonna get off the subject of us, but other than this, like when she's in the bed, she uses the bed to sleep. Like I am a sexual zombie. Like if I fall asleep, I'll wake up just hard and horny all the time. I'm gonna roll over and want to grind on you and fuck you thing, and she hates that shit. And so I to give her space and my space, cause I don't, I have self-control, but when you wake up and you're, I'll literally wake up just boning on her. You know what I mean? I'm trying to sleep, so But it's been my other experience with sleeping with other women that like it was just like that, and we would just sleep, and then you would just wake up and just always be. So my dick is kind of Pavlovian like that, to where pussy is on a. If you have a t-shirt,
like, I'm not even necessarily trying to carry this all the way through. Yeah. I'm just trying to park in the garage and go back to sleep.
And you're like in t-shirt and panties, and like I just we're going to stop talking about sex. America, you didn't need to know this much about me. But no, I've always had like a pretty high sex drive. I think that's the other thing that lent to my a lot of my insecurities being young and being inexperienced, because like my dick's like, but my brain's just like, no, just scared and traumatized. So that's a weird combination to have and to try to like train to want to be like sexually hyperactive, but to have so many hang-ups and you know.
Yeah, that is a tough, a weird balance.
Took me a while to be able to control that. And again, I don't think you can ever 100% control anything, but it's the drunk man in there. It's like, all right, I know you want to fuck all these women you work with, John, but that's not feasible, okay? Be nice. Don't be weird. These are different people. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying now. I'm not. I want somebody to see this like John wants to fucking. I mean, you know, when you're young and you're just noticing people and you're trying to differentiate what's background, just things to look at, and what's something worth pursuing. And if this person liked you, did they really like you, and how much stock do you put into it? And if this one rejected you, are you mortified for life, or is that just a thing? And can you exist around them? Just all these fucking thoughts while walking around with the biggest boner ever.
That's what I was thinking about when I brought this up was because like I've been single for 5 years, so I've been fucking, and I'm friendly or friends with some of those people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, like if I did date somebody, like is that because I don't want somebody's exes hovering around either. But these are all people like I have hooked up, but it's like, but again, it's not a thing.
That's like I was saying, depending on your maturity and the energy level.
A number of years ago, we were just in the same circles or whatever, and
like I said, as long as you guys aren't coming in the room doing the remember we fuck. I know how your dick looks. like as long as that energy is gone, you know what I mean, and you can truly, cause that
But I at the same time, it's like I'm a hypocrite because in a lot of situations, if I like really like somebody, I don't ever want to be around them again after if we're not together.
Yeah, I'm like that too. Yeah.
I don't want to be friends if I'm like really.
Yeah. My mind is very compartmentalized like
sometimes that. You have to, you know, it's.
Well, I've realized that like with having my my baby mama or whatever, sometimes you have to be in interactions with these people that you had these deep connections with. It helps that she really hates me, so nothing is would ever come of that. I don't want anything on my end, definitely. I know she don't. But at the same time, it can be awkward navigating around somebody because that's the thing too. Like especially relationships like that, when you're with somebody for years, like we had like some very intimate things. So like there is a part of your brain, some of it logical, a lot probably ego, that you're just like, man, I did everything with this woman. and there's a part of your brain. I mean, I got so much water under the bridge that I don't even think about that when it comes to that relationship. But I'm just saying all that to say you're not crazy for acknowledging that feeling, because that's the thing too. I was having this conversation with somebody. Sex can be different things. Sometimes it could be casual, sometimes it could be very intimate, but I hate when people try to diminish it too much, because even if you're promiscuous and you have like a lot of partners, then promiscuous is a very subjective term. One person's whatever isn't another person's, one person's low is another person's high.
You have 5 steady partners.
2, the old Chris Rock joke. It's all that is subjective, but where was I going? I just lost my thought. God damn it. That's the worst when it's recorded too, and the people can see how clearly it was going.
Yeah, that's the funny, because the people watching or listening, like,
the thought just comes out like, wow, how stupid is he? That he literally lost his thought.
No, when we were talking about like being able to be around people that you've been like an ex or something. Because sometimes there's it's like a work situation or a comedy situation or like you have kids together or, I don't want to get too specific, but things happen and then you have to be around people sometimes, and it's always weird or not weird. It just depends. I guess, on how everyone acts. I guess it's called maturity.
Yeah, I'm to the age now that there has been enough water under the bridge with the encounters that I've had that I don't really have an energy around anybody.
I've been divorced for like 15 years, but I've been talking about it on stage recently because I'm just going through life events and trying to write
just
about them,
mining the emotions.
And that was one of the things was like I've been divorced for but I still have to like know her, and like that's still.
That is the weird thing about having kids is at least in my situation is she really doesn't like me, and I'm just like, well, we don't have to talk, like, like if this.
But you do have to go to the same weddings and births and grandkids, and like you're in it for life. It sucks.
Yeah, we just did Christmas, and we were cordial enough. I had brought up something to my daughter, and I was like, that was back when me and your mom got along. I know we're mortal enemies now, and she just chuckled. I try to keep it like lighthearted because I don't want her to have any tension with that. All right, no more about mine. Yeah, I don't want to talk about other people who aren't in the room because that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
I try to be good, America. We ain't here just to gossip. We out here solving male sexual questions and feelings of inadequacy and wanting to be loved and validated.
We're here to solve the male loneliness epidemic for you guys. We're the anti-Rogan podcast. We just want everybody to act cool, man. That's all.
Do you think there really is a male loneliness epidemic?
No. I think this fucking ridiculous propaganda.
I think I wouldn't call it an epidemic. I don't know what the word can be, but I think there is a loneliness overall. But I think that just has to do with how we were talking about. There's no monoculture,
the internet,
and everybody being siloed into different algorithms.
I was in New York this past year and talking to somebody, and they were like, you can't go 2 feet without running into somebody, but it's the loneliest place in the world at the same time. That's the internet has made everything New York.
Yeah.
It's like everything is just a crowded.
You're in a crowded space of nothing.
Where nobody's connecting, and but I also think
nobody wants to, and the ones that do want to extract something from you without making it seem like they're doing it.
I think it's also therapy culture, where like for better or worse, like people are just being more deliberate about getting into long-term relationships and shit. And I think just because America right now, like I was talking about the British TV I've been watching, but there was like definitely a period where it was more common to live with a flatmate or roommate.
Yeah.
If you were like in your 20s and single and shit, than like in America where we knock people up and move in with them when we're 20. And then that's just, how you live is like you cohabitate in a relationship. And I think that culturally, like maybe it's on a decline here, but that doesn't mean that it was at a good, healthy spot before.
To begin, that's a good point. I just saw this thing they were talking about Sweden, and I think it was one of those Nordic, Scandinavian fucking countries. But, of course, scores really high in happiness and all this other stuff. But they were saying the way they come up there, they have a higher drinking culture and they have some of the highest hookup culture. But they were saying part of the reason for that, too, is with them having such a higher quality of living, women are... that's one of the most equal standing countries as far as women and men when it comes to income. A lot of people, since they have certain social safety nets, they're in positions to have their own flat house, apartment, whatever you want to call it, in their 20s. So to what you were saying, they're not in these positions to where if somebody gets knocked up, either they can't have the abortion or they can't afford to raise it, or they have to move in. So all these things that are societal pressures that kind of push us together in this country, at least in that country, it lends to people being able to have a more sexually seemingly free upbringing well into their 30s, just because they just socialize more, they get married later, and they have more sex just because they're freer to have sex in a capacity of enjoying it, instead of trying to figure out a sex life because I got stuck with this person who I can't afford to pay my rent without him, or we have to raise this baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much boiling frog in the water shit of our lack of social safety nets and just basic things here that we get used to that govern parts of our life that we don't even realize.
Yeah. Because I think that here right now what's happening is more, it's all intentional. Like,
yeah, I think we're just starting to notice that.
They're trying to kill off poor people and breed more rich and white people.
Yeah.
So they're banning abortion and you know,
and just put people in desperate situations.
It doesn't take much for somebody with the resources of our government to just look around at shit and go like, okay, well, we know when we changed this law, it saved X amount of black lives.
Yeah.
And if we repeal that law, that will, without violence or direct violence, that will kill off X amount of black lives a year.
There's an actual real name for that, and it was called benign neglect, and that was an actual government thing that they did, and that was that when you heard that speech of, I think it was maybe McNamara, but it was one of Nixon's people, and they were talking about the Southern strategy and how they developed it, and he's literally on tape. You can look this up, and he was like, well, we can't say nigger, nigger, nigger anymore, so to do more dog whistle type stuff, we'll talk about taxes, and we'll talk about other things like that, and by way of implementing that, more black people will be harmed than white people, but we don't have to use the language, and that look it up, America.
In their
that's
mind,
a real
chemotherapy
thing.
as fucking genocide.
Yeah, you got to kill off certain amount of healthy cells to get all the bad cells.
And everything, like, when you look around and it's like fucking RFK, who's from a family of noted eugenicists. The Kennedys were all of the fuck about eugenics and rich families only breeding with rich families and shit like that. That was like the Kennedy, one of their things, that to the point they lobotomized one of their, Rosemary Kennedy, because she was just too fun and hoary for the family to let her exist. And so RFK,
well, she was slow though, right? But before that, or was this a different one?
I think she just, I think they didn't like her personality.
I know they did say that was one of the reasons that that was the reason that they made
put in the paperwork, but I think it was more that she didn't go with the family vibe.
Well, they said that the guilt of that as the years went on is why they created the Special Olympics, because they literally look it up. I'm not making this shit up.
I'm sure that that was a PR why they did that, but
because we know how it feels to have somebody differently able.
Our poor Rosemary, who we had to have lobotomized. But when you see RFK
go through her nose,
come in and like banning vaccines and shit that obviously have been proven for decades, it's all about killing off the most vulnerable, the sick, like as many people as they can, and you know, every policy is just to kill and control. And JD Vance was out somewhere and said it. I think we talked about this last week, but said it directly too. Was talking about like if there's less resources, then you know there's less people using resources. He was saying it in reference to immigration, but
he keeps that Peter Thiel mask keeps falling off.
It shows the mindset. You know?
Yeah, of course. That thing that Elon just retweeted about, you know, white males we have to keep up the numbers because we've become a minority. We're going to get slaughtered and blah blah blah. And it's just like it's the guy who's like cheating on the woman, because if I don't cheat on her, she's gonna cheat on me. Like it's like everybody doesn't have this sociopathic. I mean, that might happen, but you know, you don't have to have your shitty behavior. You don't have to justify it because it's like, well, if I don't rape her, she gonna rape me. Like, I gotta do it.
JD Vance 2028, rape or get raped. Well, that
Vivek
is,
Ramaswamy, not for
That's we're at an hour and a half, so I think we got to wrap. We did get through this whole podcast this week without talking about the ICE incident, and there's a reason, and it's because I want to wait and see what happens the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Because I'm up in the air. I'm on the fence. No, I'm definitely not. Clearly, she did. The wheels are trying. We've all been arguing about it for days.
Protect
but I want to wait and see what
yourself.
I want to see more of the fallout before I talk a whole lot, and also I don't want to say anything on video that I'm gonna have to edit out later.
Because the rubber is hitting the road.
Headspace,
there. And things are. All these are. It's so funny. This is like this is like a Marvel movie. This is the end game. Like so many things that have been put in motion are all coming to.
I'm going to say one thing definitively is that I'm looking into legally whatever legal things I can do to start stockpiling guns and canned food at this point. But luckily, I have a job that
the goose that lays the golden egg. The more you squirm, the better it feels.
The worse things get.
The more you move, the better this feels. The more people die, the more. Hey, I told you I'm on the other side of it. I'm feeding people poison. I'm giving them alcohol to fucking anesthetize people's brain. And you know how many the cognitive dissonance of all these hoity-toity people that come to the place I work that shall not be named, and like a lot of them are people with money, so like they just live in a different world.
Yeah.
And like I have brought up something. I wasn't even trying to talk politics, but I was telling somebody, I was like, well, a lot of distilleries, bourbon distilleries are shutting down for the year in Kentucky because, their sales have dropped so much. And the lady was like, why? I was like, well, Canada has been boycotting them because, Trump was shitting on Canada, talking about we're going to annex them and stuff like that. So Canada was like, we're not going to drink your whiskey. And they drink enough bourbon to where it really shit on a number of the distilleries down there. And I'm explaining this to her. I was like, yeah, they did that because what Trump did. And she's like, and she like rolled her eyes. And I'm like, whether you agree, this ain't even politics at this point. It's like, this is
that's what happened.
Yeah, this is what happened. And they were right to do that. It's another country. They're like, I don't think you should invade us. And in doing this, I'm not going to even violently attack you. I'm just not going to buy your goods. And now she's like rolling her eyes that some rich bourbon company is starting to feel the fucking economic impact of their shitty voting practices. And there's so much of that in those type of people because they live in their own things. All right, and this is why we didn't start talking about that.
No, well, the one thing I want to say about it is, so when I was in like 8th grade, I was at lunch and there was a kid that I hated. He was kind of a bully, so it's not like an exact metaphor.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of kids. There were like 2 lunch tables. There were a bunch of kids that were sitting with like their foot propped underneath them in a row.
Yeah.
And I saw him keep going and like pushing their foot out from under them.
Yeah.
Right, and like knocking like they would fall over.
Yeah.
So I saw it as an opportunity. And I was like, he's going to do, if I go sit like that, he'll do that to me, and then I can punch him in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And look like the good guy in the situation.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what that fucking cop did.
Oh, yeah.
Is jumped in front of that car. The same cop was dragged by a car like a few months ago and got a bunch of stitches. He's been trying that move. Like, these guys really think this is a video game. They're in Call of Duty.
Oh,
He's been trying this. Jump in front of the car, shoot a lady move.
Did you see the guy who lit the American flag on fire? And because all these people are getting riled up in Minnesota. And then some people followed him because they were like, as soon as the fire went out, he just walked away and he was by himself. And so people followed him and they were talking about this. They were like, why'd you do that? Why are you immediately leaving? Why'd you get all those people riled up and now you're trying to get out of here? And it was like, we learned this during George Floyd, like these random people people want you to be a conspiracy
guy.
And it was exactly that
the
energy.
The guy that was smashing that AutoZone in with was a a federal agent.
And it seems like people are being hip and wise to it, but this is what we have to be smart too, because there'll be another shooting, and they're gonna and it puts
Because
you in this conundrum of either you be pacified in all this violence, or you rise to a level of violence so that they can get the real shit going that they really want to get going. So we have to be very strategic how we move, and a lot of it, the revolution won't be televised. So if y'all want to know what to do, talk to your neighbors and friends off camera when your phones aren't in the room, because even when they're off, they're listening.
Talk to your local anarchists, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is not, I don't like anarchists, but the enemy of my enemy and strange bedfellows and all that.
Libertarians
kind of
that have a couple more good points, but still kind of crazy.
Yeah,
you're making a couple more good points, but you still exist in a fantasy land.
That same, I was just reading, and this was like an article from 2014 in like Rolling Stone, or I might have been a different publication, but I was reading an article that there were back then some ICE customs enforcement, the immigration customs, Rolling Stone or Spin or one of those got a hold of some like internal memos at ICE, and some of them were about stepping in front of cars and like using that as an excuse to use more force, to treat cars as vehicles as a potential murder weapon. And the guy that did this week was in ICE at this time. Like, this was an internal, like, this is a thing that they've planned for, and that's why they've passed so many weird laws around protesting, and they're always trying to make it legal to hurt protesters. A whole lot of I'm not touching you, and getting closer and closer and trying to. It's very. I saw like the very next morning they like shot a tear gas canister in somebody's face at a high school in Minnesota, and it's all they're targeted in Minnesota because he had the the audacity to run for office against Trump.
It's very antagonistic. It's very petty. It's to be expected, and not to be the I told you so's, but this is what black people have been talking about for years of how we've been occupied by the police. One of the things is like fascism. I read this. Fascism is colonialism when it happens to white people. This shit has been happening to black people and indigenous people for years. I hope this wakes people up, because what the Black Panthers were doing, everything they were doing was in counterinsurgency to the police, and it's what we need to start doing now. They're the ones who came up with the breakfast programs. Before that, regular schools didn't have breakfast. Fucking Chicago police broke into the Black Panthers offices and fucking peed in kids' breakfasts because they, God forbid, you feed starving children, because they're not starving, but undernourished children, because they knew that what's the point of giving people an education if they're not properly nourished? It's that hierarchy of needs. It's why you have lower test scores. It's not because these people are stupid, because who cares about 1 + 1 = whatever the fuck if I'm hungry? And then the other thing that they did was they would go out on patrols and they would patrol the police. And because the police were doing all this brutality and there's nobody to call, nobody's doing anything. My old drug dealer used to tell me about like shit that police would do back in the day in the 70s in Cleveland. You just take your girl and rape her and just all type of shit. You know what I mean?
Just aggressively try to bait people into like
it's just
violence and everything.
It's like that shit that people talk about in Palestine. It's like it's to different degrees and varying levels, but like from sundown towns to like people getting raped, you have a subjugated people who have been pushed into a certain area, and the police regard these people as less than human, and they can do what they want. I can plant drugs on you. I can steal your drugs if I know you're a drug dealer. I will rape you. I will kill you. I will treat you how I want to treat you. I will gaslight you when you speak out against it. So say all that to say that's what the Panthers were coming up against, and they infiltrated them and dissected all that with COINTELPRO. but we could at least learn from them and the things that worked and the things that didn't, because they were very knowledgeable about the law. And that was the last time that the NRA was for gun control, because that was back when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California, and one of the reasons the Black Panthers had guns out because it was legal to carry like that, and they were doing that to protect themselves. And that's when they changed that law, that you can't have that. And then Republicans will look back now and be like, this is liberal California has all these stringent gun laws. It's like, yeah, because of Republicans.
Yeah, it was Republicans.
Their stupid logic is just either way. That's the podcast, guys.
No, actually, I mean, we could keep going. I can.
I got shit.
Okay, yeah, gotta go. Yeah, that's the show.
Plus, I could keep going if we do that. I can't.
We
or
can
protect yourselves and your neighbors.
I don't know. If you listen to this, tell us. Do you want more politics, or I don't know. I've been on the fence because
you like the fucking or the
comedy in West Virginia last night, and it was a good gig, and I got paid. So I was like, I'm not gonna go in here and start shit. Also, I'm in the middle of nowhere, but like, why would I want to antagonize people? But
you guys feel stupid for voting for Trump yet?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
So I did my good material. Like, it's I did a good show, but
But the other thing too, I mean, you can't. I told you there's only two things I agree with that George W. Bush said, and the one was the soft racism of low expectations. And I don't mean racism for them, but you can't go in thinking that all these people are going to be conservative or something like that.
The other thing he
said, because a lot of times people want to hear shit in those areas.
And what was the second one? My pet goat's a faggot.
No, we don't. We do not negotiate with terrorists.
Okay.
Those are the two things that I agree with that man. Everything else that ever came out of his mouth is fucking trash.
That's what he was reading on 9/11.
Yes, I know, man. My pet goat, when he whispered into his ear, a second plane has hit the tower, and we're gonna start detonating these buildings in about 45 minutes. The plane that was
excuse to invade Iraq is almost complete, sir.
The plane that was supposed to hit Building 7 never made contact, but we have a small team in there, and we should be able to.
Horseshit. I think 9/11 was real. We don't have time to get into 9/11.
I told you I've been ending the podcast for 10 minutes. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, and just only more to come. So thank you.
Yep. See you.